Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Unfuck Yourself podcast. I'm very excited for today. If you have been following along on Instagram, I always like to kind of go into phases of things, like eras. We had a self-image era. We had a dark forces era. We have these little eras we go into. This era we are now entering on the podcast and in social medias is all around getting your creator field right for you to thrive in career, and then as a result, you to thrive financially, but in a very fulfilling, soul pull, soul aligned way. Okay. So this doesn't mean you have to go like create your own business if you don't want to. If you are in your own business, you are an entrepreneur, you want to create your own business, this is perfect for you. If you want to climb the ladder of your corporate career or of whatever career you're in, this is also perfect for you. This is all about getting your creator field, your energy right to create the most soul aligned, soul pull, fulfilling career, and as a result, financial situation possible for you. That is the era we are diving into. You guys have been begging me for like a workshop or a course on this for a while now. I don't know if that's going to come yet. That would be a very, very advanced version of everything we're going to dive into. So first, we've got to understand all of not even basics, because it's still more advanced than anything out there, honestly, that you're hearing from a source perspective. But we've got to understand the foundations of all of that first, and then we can think about, okay, are we ready to go advanced? We'll see how you're feeling. So today's episode, there's going to be about 4 of these as of right now. Stay tuned. But the first one we're going to start with how your creator field creates your life. And if you've heard me talk about the creator field before, I just want you to stay tuned here with me, because I'm explaining it in a way that I've never explained it before, ever. I'm explaining it in a very, very science-backed way, okay? It is not source or the universe that creates your life at all. So today we're diving into how your creator field creates your life, how it's not source or the universe that has anything to do with what's going on in your life, and how to apply this to thriving in career and finances, and understanding the energetic, but also the science of your true soul potential. Okay. So I just want you to ask yourself quick, what does feeling empowered mean to you? And are you aware of the foundational scientific source aligned truth about your potential? Understanding that today will start to transform everything for you. And like, I'm not kidding when I say everything. Today, we're going to dive into the source and neuroscience, the source way, the science, and the neuroscience behind how much control we truly have over our life experience, and how much control we have over our career thriving, over our finances thriving, but also be fulfilled and soul aligned while doing it. By diving into this, you're going to discover the key to reclaiming your power and unlocking the freedom to truly shape the quality of life you desire, specifically in career and finances, okay? So we're going to awaken your hidden abilities, unlock some dormant potentials. We're going to create some meaningful changes you've always wanted but didn't really know how to get, or maybe even haven't thought is like super possible for you. So first, we're diving into a science lesson that I've never explained before like this. Then after that, we're diving into why that science lesson is essential to thriving in your soul pull aligned career and financial success. You will hear me say soul pull a lot in this. Basically, soul pull is what your soul came back here to do, why your soul's back. You won't be fulfilled doing anything else other than your soul pull. If you are off your soul pull, you're always going to feel like something is missing. Okay. Your soul pull is essentially what your soul's back here to do, kind of leaning more toward what's going to look like to other people a career or your job or your brand or business. But it's going to feel like not like work to you, because it's the most fulfilling thing you could be doing for yourself. Okay. Today, I want to start with the understanding of how, on a scientific, spiritual, energetic level, what and how and what causes things to work, and how does everything in the universe actually work. And this is something that if you go way on the side of science, it's not fully going to explain it. And if you go on all the way on the side of the spiritual side, it's not going to really fully explain it either. So what we need to do is we need to start with understanding light, okay? Everything in this universe, it comes from light. It starts with light. If you ask a scientist, if you had to explain what source is with science understanding, they're going to say, with everything we know, source would have to be the most pure concentration of light that exists. And that's pretty much the truth. Like, that's not really far from what's actually true. What we also can understand from them is everything in this universe is made up of light. It needs light to exist. Everything in this universe has to have light. Light is essentially the information and the blueprint for all matter in this universe. So basically, if your brain gets to a place of understanding how everything is created by light in this universe, how everything moves and works, it is going to blow your minds, okay? It's going to open the doors of possibility and the doors of being able to achieve really whatever you want to create just from understanding and accepting this information as the source truth that it is, okay? Just from giving your brain this information, this is already going to change so much. So, light has blueprints in it. And one of the byproducts of light is going to be electricity. Now, what that means is, well, hold on, before we go into that, and there are some other forces that come off of light as well. So these forces are really important. So basically, everything in this universe has light within it. And if it doesn't, it literally would not be able to exist. Now, if that is the origin of everything, what does that have to do with the process of making things happen for yourself in career and finances? Great question. I'm glad you asked. It all starts in our brains. When we have a thought, our thought happens in the form of light. And again, that light carries with it, inside of all of it, all of this amazing information. Then what happens is a byproduct of light, okay? So it will pass electricity through parts of the brain, through the neural network, and it will start to connect and link up other parts of the brain. And some really cool shit starts to happen when we start to have a thought. So the second you have a thought, it is physically changing your brain. The matter in your brain, the neural pathways, the connections, now your brain is wired, how your brain is wired, and now it's going to change every single thought, okay? It's starting to change your thoughts for every interest that you focus on. Something else really, really fucking cool happens. The brain starts to go, okay, we're going to focus on this, and we need more proof. We need more resources. What is essentially happening is it's continuing to melt more and more resources. And within about an hour of time of focus, you have doubled the available resources to apply toward learning, understanding, and the embodiment of that idea or that activity. So you have done all of this in like an hour's time. You have doubled the resources that you have available toward learning that new thing or embodying that new thing or believing that new thing. Okay. Now, this is key because this could work for you or this could work against you. So, and we'll get into that in a second. So your thought makes all of this happen right away in the brain. In the process of this, you're probably going to have emotions. And the emotions could be, oh, I'm really, really good at this, or I'm really awful at this. Or they could be, I'm the best in the world, or I'm the worst in the world. They could be, I'm confident, or I suck, right? And we have these ideas of whatever we're choosing to have thought forms on. They start to create ideas and perceptions of ourselves. Okay? It could be, this is really easy for me. This is really hard for me. What most people don't understand is as this process continues, something almost immediate, something within a matter of minutes that happens is we've started to entertain these thoughts of, well, I think I'm really good at making money, or I think I'm really bad at making money, or I think I'm really good at what I do, or I think I'm really bad at what I do. Whatever that is, it's starting to restructure and reorient our physical body. So as you're starting to judge the activity you're doing, judge that new stuff you're learning, and going, oh, this just isn't for me, I'll never be good at this, the body is actually implementing these programs, and it's changing the way your muscles work, the way your nerves communicate, and how your neural system operates throughout the body. It's changing your confidence. It's changing your fluidity. It's either making it better, or it's making it worse, depending on the thought you're having. The thoughts of how capable you are or incapable your brain is immediately with these thoughts are going to make up 70% change in your body, either making you 70% more capable or 70% more paralyzed. 70%, you guys, that's wild. Okay. So I want to give you an example of this. When I used to pro dance, I was really good at dance in certain scenarios because I had thoughts that I was. Right. So like when I was performing on stage, I was really good at dance. I would like have this belief that I'm a really good performer. So anytime you would put me on stage in front of people, I would be fucking incredible. Well, then I had this belief that I wasn't good at auditioning. So when I was out in the pro dance world and I was auditioning, I had this belief that just everyone else in there was better than me. Well, everyone else in there was better than me. If that's my thought, it's going to start to prove that to myself. It's going to create a belief through the proof that I make. Then it's going to literally affect my physical body. You would think I would never have danced a day in my life at certain auditions because my body would just freeze up. Okay. My dance talent did not change. The environment did. And my thoughts changed based on the environment. It's not the environment's fault. It was my own doing because of the thoughts that I was having. Okay. So this all started out as a thought. I had the thought, and then it started to change my brain. It started to bring in memories. It started to bring in personal feelings. It started to bring in perceptions. And then boom, I have a judgment. And that judgment is I'm the best at dancing when I'm on stage performing, and I'm the worst at dancing when I am auditioning. And now that's changing how my muscles work. How my body works or doesn't work is dependent on the thought that started it. And now I am effectively putting a brand new program in my body, whether it's a program we desire or it's a program we don't desire. This could go with anything. Maybe you're a great speaker on podcasts. Maybe the second you get in front of people, you feel like you're an awful speaker. It just all starts out with a program and a thought. Okay. And now what happens is now I have changed my body. I've actually changed my performance. Now this is really, really, really key to understand. So understanding that a thought within a matter of literally 30 minutes will restructure almost your complete body. That's fucking insane. That's insane. And like I said, it's something that we really dive into here over in this neck of the woods because we kind of learned how to hack the system with this. If we can understand that our thoughts determine our emotions, our beliefs, our physical body, our performance, then we can actually learn how to change our thoughts. Okay. But before we go into that, something else happens. Now memories are starting to connect. Memories exist in the form of light, and they, contrary to what science fully is backed up by right now, is memories exist in different parts of the body. Okay. Your memories exist in different organs, in your legs, in your shoulders, in your head, in your feet, right? In the heart. One of the things that science hasn't fully gotten yet, but we can learn from source, is that a lot of the memories are going to reside in the correlating parts of the body that when you're sick or imbalanced, your body is going to talk to you, essentially. You know this if you've taken Body Talks, my workshop. A lot of times there will be memories in those areas that are similar to what the body wants to communicate. We are insanely emotional. All humans are so fucking emotional, and our emotions are going to connect in this process. Our emotions have a huge play in this process. So we will become emotional, either good, positive, or bad, negative, emotional about whatever's going on. As we become emotional, the emotions will correlate and connect to memories that resonate with this. Okay. So there is this linking up of emotions and memories, and then programs in the brain of the executions of a kind of that instruction manual of what to do in this situation. How do we feel in this situation? And these instruction manuals of each of these memories with the emotions are all linking up together. There is this thing that we talk about, and it is called the creator field. Okay. Our creator field is essentially our spirit, for lack of a better word. It is our soul. It is our thoughts. It is our emotions. It is our actions. It is made up of our thoughts and beliefs and our aura and what we believe to be true. Okay. All of that creates one big concoction, and it makes up our creator field. And now our creator field is actually responsible for shaping all matter, shaping all people, places, situations, circumstances, events that we find ourselves in, around, and involved in. Now, our creator field has all these really cool components, just like the physical body has organs in different zones and things like that. The same exists within our creator field. Our essence, our spirit body, everything is written in this, okay? And in this physical universe, the byproducts of light are going to be electricity and other forces. Not gravity, because gravity is a force, but forces that are as strong as gravity, essentially. Here is where, like, science hasn't fully gotten to this, but if you check in with Source dives into explaining this. Science about has probably like 70 to 80% has discovered 70 to 80% of what we're diving into with how light works off of the fields. So we have these creator fields. They are made up of light, and they have all of this information, this information meaning our thoughts, our beliefs, our actions, our soul self, our spirit self, how we feel, all of it, okay? Our emotions. These forces, they push and pull, all of these different forces, okay? Also, forces of electricity can be detected in and outside of our physical bodies. So they change all the time. Now, our creator fields with this push and pull, these forces and the electricity, they do something really fucking cool. They're responsible for shaping and pushing and pulling and shifting all matters in our universe. I want you to think of like the Truman Show, the movie The Truman Show. If you haven't watched it, that's your homework. Go watch The Truman Show. In that movie, it's all about him, okay? Everything he does is affects everything around him, okay? That is how we are with our own personal universe. So, where does this information come from? I'm glad you asked. It comes from our emotions. It comes from our thoughts. It comes from our subconscious thoughts. It comes from our memories. And all of this shapes the information in your creator field. Now, if you don't believe this, it doesn't matter. You are experiencing and organizing matter at all places and times in your life. Everything that happens in your life, I'm sure you may have maybe had this thought before, but somehow you created, okay? Based on the scripts and the big concoction that is in your creator field. Now, in the spiritual world, this was just kind of explained improperly. You are a little bit in a spiritual matrix if you learn this just out in the random spiritual world first, because there's missing pieces to this. The spiritual world tells you that the universe gives you things, or source gives you things. I love source so much. I love source just as much as the next guy. I love God, source, whatever word resonates with you, right? I fucking love God, okay? But God does not have a hand in our life. So everyone is out here blaming source and blaming God for their life not going the way they want it. And wondering like, oh, why does this person get this thing, but I don't? Does God hate me? Does source hate me? Does the universe hate me? No, it is your creator field that's shaping all matter. And what is your creator field? Who remembers? It is one big concoction of your thoughts, your beliefs, your actions, your emotions, your subconscious. And that is going to shape everything around you and create things all around you and determine what gets created all around you. It is not the universe. It is not source, because of the universal law of source created a law where source has their hands out of your life because you have the power of source within you. You are just a broken off piece of source that intentionally decided to break off to go learn more. Even though source already knows everything, source is so fucking humble that source decided, I know everything, but I want to learn more. So pieces of source broke off and they became you. You are a piece of source. You can create like source. If you can create like source, source doesn't need to create for you. So source made a law of no, the sole mission in these people's lives is to understand and get to the consciousness that I am source, I can create. So source said, I'm not going to create for you. Okay. So everything that we interact with, that we hear, that we come across, how people treat us, the circumstances, situations we find ourselves in, was a creation of your creator field. So let me give you an example of this. One of my thoughts might be, I have to work really, really, really hard to be successful. Okay. And that's the thought that I've had before, that I do have to work really, really hard to be successful, especially in, the thing that I desire the most, right? In career, in finances, okay? And my thought is like, oh, everyone else has it easier. I have to be the one to work really, really, really hard and still not reap the rewards as much. And I had this straight up thought and belief for a long time, okay? And it keeps getting supported and supported because now I start to find memories and examples to prove my thought to be true, even though everything exists at once. So there's an equal amount of things to disprove that thought, just as there are an equal amount of things to prove that thought, right? But that thought starts getting more and more and more supported the more I emotionally connect to it. And the more I emotionally connect, the more I'm finding memories to continue to prove and support that thought. So along with my brain, my thoughts and emotions changing, my physical body is also changing. My brain is changing. And most importantly, the creator field has changed because of this new program. And it is going to arrange all matter inside and outside of my physical body. Well, how does that arrange matter in my body? Great question. If I can hold this thought, this subconscious emotional state long enough, a few things may manifest in my body. If I'm beating myself up about not having enough skills or tools in that area of life, right? To not have to work as hard, my body is going to organize me getting a headache, which is letting me know that I'm putting pressure on myself. Okay. It also may manifest in extra weight on the body because I'm beating myself up. Okay. My body is going to tell a story of this, and a lot of times through something that you probably don't want, through something that's painful. So if you're making this big leap right now, if I'm having a problem with feeling like I'm not good at making things easy, if I'm feeling like I am beating myself up because it takes me longer and I'm frustrated, it takes me longer to create what I want to create and I have to work harder than everyone else, it's going to create some sort of imbalance in my body. Okay? It's all related. It's this thing that is all created by our own thoughts and emotions and memories. It all starts with a thought, then it goes to an emotion, then it goes to a memory. And they're all connecting together. Okay? And that's what actually shapes every single bit of people, places, situations, circumstance, matter in your life. Okay. So I'm going to give you another part of this. One of the things that's really cool about intuition is we have the ability to actually see light and actually see the soul self, the spirit self. And the soul self is some kind of, the spirit self and soul self kind of go hand in hand. Okay. They're kind of the same thing. So we can actually see the light intuitively using intuition. And we can actually see parts of the body that are low in light and high in frequency light. And we can see how much light actually radiates from a person's physical body, how much information is there, and we can read the information with intuition. Now, I'm talking about this because the whole process of when you start to actually read light, and that's something that we're actually naturally doing, whether we realize it or not. Our body is reading and interpreting and rewiring and decoding all the information of light all of the time, from ourselves, from other people. We can't on a conscious human level understand light, okay? So you will find that there is a script in your creator field. And this script essentially just gets handed out to everyone around you, all matter around you, and they are going to act out that script back to you. So, meaning the script is all the thoughts you think, what you believe to be true, whether it's helping you or not, it's creating a script in your creator field. Then people act out that script back to you on a daily basis. Okay. Matter that disagrees with the script. So let's go back to the example of feeling like I am not good enough to have the career I want, right? And I'm beating myself up about that. It is going to push away, my creator field is going to push away all matter, all situations, all circumstances, and people who are going to have the impression, the idea that I am good at my career. I'm really good at what I do. Okay, because I feel like I'm not. It's not about talent, it's about how you feel. So if I feel like I'm not good at what I want to do in career, it's going to push away all matter, all situations, all circumstances, and people who are going to think and have the idea that I'm great at my career. I'm not going to attract those people. Now, this is a way more complicated, and there is a lot more to this, but this is the simplified version right now. We'll dive deeper into this if we ever do a workshop and a course on this. But because I'm saying that I'm not good at what I want to do in career and that I don't have the skills and the tools, it is going to pull in situations, circumstances, and people who are going to confirm this. So it may be pulling in someone telling me, oh, they bought something someone else was selling instead of mine. It may pull in people who just would never be interested in buying what I'm selling instead of pulling in the people who would be interested in buying what I'm selling. It may pull in, if I'm writing a book and I want to get it published, it's going to pull in the wrong publishers who aren't going to want to buy my book instead of pulling in the publishers who will want to buy the book, right? So that was all created from within myself. Do we get that? That is what gets created. It's not other people's fault. It's not source. It's not the universe. It is you creating that. And then the other people out there, there may be people who, believe that I am incredible at my career. I'm incredible at what I do. Anyone should hire me or anyone should buy what I'm selling. But my creator field is going to, with its forces, push out that matter, push out those people so that information does not exist in my creation, because I am not creating a creator field where it even is possible for that information to exist within my creation. So basically, understanding that this concept that there is nothing that is going to exist in your physical life, none of it, nothing can exist unless it was built on a light level, made concrete through our physical body, made concrete in your creator field, and that our creator field is shaping all matter in your body around you. And this is essentially how everything goes, okay? These forces, going back to how light turns into matter, these forces, the light in my field radiates in the electromagnetic field. That's one of the forces of your creator field, is the EMF field. One of the things that you can essentially detect with the level of technology we have is you can detect the EMF field, and it will radiate in that EMF a certain type of build. There are forces. So if you think about like my creator field as this light body, all this different anatomy around me organizing matter, how it organizes matter is actually really, really easy. So light's a blueprint, and then the physical manifestation of light is going to be the photons, okay? So it's going to gather the photons and it's going to start to gather the matter. So why you should care and why this is about this, and when it comes to accessing your fullest potential in career and finances, is the script in your creator field determines your success and what you create. It is not your talent. It is not how hard you work. It is not source. It is not the universe. It is you and your beliefs, which is great because you actually have full control over those. A lot of people don't like this because they want to stay victims. And this is the most empowering source truth you can start to embody for yourself, okay? One of the reasons people struggle with this, and I'm sure you're thinking like, why do people struggle with this? Because you are probably understanding this so much. But why a lot of people struggle with this is the subconscious brain and our egos. Subconscious brain is about 10,000 times more capable and powerful than the conscious brain, 10,000 times. It can organize things, work on things, run things, shut things off, and you will never even fucking know. And that is part of the reason why most people don't have control over every single part of their life. And I promise you, your higher selves need this information to accomplish what your soul chose to accomplish in this lifetime. It is so important. Because you are, if you're listening to this, if you felt called to this, your soul is probably here to do things unconventionally, if you will. You have this insane fucking potential. But the problem is you're not allowing yourself to access it. And it's not the universe that's not allowing you to access it. It's not source. It's not your friends. It's not the people who won't believe what you're doing. It is yourself because of the scripts you have written in the creator field. Your creator field determines everything. Everything. This is a very, very important concept to understand before we dive into anything else, is you have the full control and power. Now, people get triggered by this because there's a lot of stuff out in the spiritual world and more so in like the therapy world of like, don't victim blame. Like if people didn't buy what they sell, that's the other person's loss and that kind of thing. And it's the other person's fault. And it's always the other person's fault. It's this person's fault. It's that person's fault. And it's like, you can live your life like that, but you will never be able to then have full creation power and create your life in the way that Source does, in the way that Source creates. It is when and only when we take radical responsibility over what has been created, whether we like it or not, okay? We don't have to make it mean anything about us. Like, don't beat yourself up for creating something you didn't like, right? We just go, oh, I'm learning here because I'm understanding, oh, this is what I should not do anymore if I want to create what I want to create, right? You have insane potential, like insane creation potential. If you're listening to this, it's no coincidence, okay? In order to access that potential, you have got to root to and start to accept the source truth of you create everything based on your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, subconscious mind, and actions. When you accept that, when you accept it is no one else but you, you have unlocked your power to create anything. But specifically, what we are talking about here is a thriving career and financial system system, oh my gosh, financial situation and system where you feel fulfilled and in control. Okay? It is when and only when you accept that you create everything around you that you are going to be able to take full control of what you create from here on out. Your potential is endless and limitless when you understand you can change your thought, you can connect it to a new memory that's going to create a new emotion. That new emotion is going to create a new physical state of the body. That new physical state of the body is going to create new actions. Those new actions plus your new emotions are going to create the new things you actually desire. This is how you hack the system. This is how I have back in 2020, went from making $500 a month to $11,000 a month within a fucking month. Or within 2 months, within 2 months. Okay. This is how I went from, I probably made God, who even knows, 15 to 20K in 2019. And then in 2020, I think it was 160,000 that I made. This is also how last year I went from, I think around 450 to 500K in the year. And now within a year of that, we are almost multi-million dollar brand. For sure, $1 million brand, almost literally so close to multi-million dollar brand within less than a year. This is how I have done this. I've gotten a grip on my creator field, on my thoughts, on my emotions, on my actions, on my beliefs, on proving new memories to myself. Now you're like, how do I do this, Allie? Well, great question. Glad you asked. Good thing is we have about 3 more podcast episodes after this that we're going to dive into this deeper and deeper as we go. But I need you to understand this first. It is no one else's fault or problem or responsibility, okay? This is not about blaming yourself, but this is about taking radical responsibility. And the beautiful thing when we do that is we are fully empowered, because if you created something you don't like, you can quite literally uncreate it and create something new. What's more empowering, that or going, oh, I don't like this. Fuck, I'm stuck. I'm just a victim. I'm going to have to just wait around to see when it gets better. Which one would you rather? Being the victim, blaming other things and other people and other situations and other circumstances, and then having to wait around till things get better, which in result, they won't because they're responding to your creator field. If you created shit before you don't like, and you don't change your creator field, you'll continue to create shit. So what's more empowering? Not accepting the source truth and living that way, or accepting the source truth and going, wait, I don't like what I've been creating, but that means I can fucking change it because I've been creating it. I have the full power. I don't have to wait for anybody to change things up. Okay? So there are so many things I've implemented in my creator field for more career success, for more money through career success, through more people finding out about me and what the work I do, right? Because it has nothing to do with talent. My intuition could be as great as it is now, but I could not have the belief in myself. And if I don't feel like I'm good, and if I don't feel like I am special unique, if I don't feel like it can only be gotten from me, if I don't feel like all of these other things that are required to thrive in career, then I'm not going to create the right people, places, situations, and circumstances in my life that are going to see my intuitive gifts and talents, right? I've got to get rooted. Doesn't matter about your talent. That's why people with half the talent of you as you are doing more things because they are delusional in some way, shape, or form, or they don't care, or they don't feel like they need to be X, Y, and Z to be worthy and deserving of their success or whatever it is. And you're insanely talented, but you're insanely hard on yourself, right? And so all your talent doesn't really mean anything right now because has nothing to do with whether you're getting the opportunities or not. Okay? So an example of this is one of my past mentorship students didn't think she was creative. She was starting her business. And I was like, she wasn't in the place where she could hire somebody because she was just starting her business. And I said, you've got to get creative and do your own marketing and branding for your courses right now. And she was like, I'm not creative. And I was like, I have this little tattletale called intuition. And my intuition says you actually test really, really, really high for creativity, like 98% creative of what her soul is what her soul is capable of being, which is fucking high. So I was like, that's a lie. Like intuition, the tattletale here is saying you're actually really creative. And I was like, here's how you're going to start to connect a new memory, emotion, thought, synaptic connection, neural network with that. And I was like, you've got to write down in your notes, I'm insanely creative. Then you've got to prove it to yourself by times and the most recent memories you can think of, or any memory ever, where you felt creative, even if it was for a split fucking second. Okay? I'm giving away a tool here. And you prove it to yourself by finding memories. The more memories you find, the more your emotions connect because you're proving it to your brain. The more emotions connect, the more your brain and blood flow in your brain is going to actually allow you to get the creative ideas. It doesn't matter how creative you are. If you don't think you're creative, you're blocking yourself off from the creative ideas because you can even be a match to get intuitive information or not, okay? If you don't think you're creative, you're not going to be the match to get the intuitive information that you need on like the next best idea. Even if it is in your soul pull to get the next best idea, if you don't feel like you're creative, you're not going to even be a match to receive that intuitive information. You have to be an energetic match to even receive intuitive information. Make sense? So I had her start to rewire her brain. And then she comes back to me a week later and is like, oh my God, Allie, like I'm realizing how creative I actually am. I had just had this idea, this thing. And she made up this genius fucking name. And it's called, I'm going to shout her out. It's Kayla. And it's called Healing is Hot. And that's like a big part of her brand. It's a course. It's her podcast. She's like, this whole healing is hot thing. And I'm like, healing is hot. That's fucking genius because she does a lot of stuff on like healing the body through your emotions. Kind of like we talked about a little bit earlier here today. Right. And so like, that's fucking cool. That's insanely creative. And she's like now so creative and always coming up with these ideas and these designs. And she unlocks her creativity. That's what I'm saying by unlocking your potential, unlocking things that are so dormant right now because you believe otherwise. Okay. And that's what we are really, really, really going to get you to understand and dive into. So this podcast episode is one of 4 that we'll be diving into on all things getting your creator field right to thrive in business and finances and unlocking your dormant, essentially soul potential and creating those things. The next episode, we will be diving into tenacity, okay? Talent doesn't mean shit about shit. Talent doesn't mean anything. Your tenacity and willingness to keep going does. The higher self road is not the easier road, and we're going to be debunking the spiritual matrix myths when it comes to business and career. That is in episode 2, the next episode we'll be diving into in this series. Okay. That is also a massive reason how I went from, I think like 20K a year that year in 2019 to 160 something K in 2020 in less than a year. And that is also, again, a big part of how I went from like 400 to 500K last year to almost a multi-million-dollar business this past year. And we're not even ending the year yet. Okay. So I'm really excited for that one as well. Now, if after these episodes, you guys are ready to go advanced, we'll do a workshop, but we'll see how we feel. We'll see how we feel. I will see you next week in the next episode. Listen to this a lot of times. Please repeat this episode 3 to 4 times. Our brains can only take in 20 minutes of information at a time. And this is a lot of information. And we talked about a lot in here, and I talk very fast when I get passionate. So re-listen to this. You're going to find and hear new things each time, I promise. And really start to this week, start to implement. I created this. I breathe substance into everything. Okay. And start to just, if you can accept that source truth, you are in the perfect spot to implement the next steps to start thriving in career and finances in the soul pull, soul aligned way. Okay. I love you. Thank you for being here. I just want to Like, say how much I appreciate you for doing this for yourself. A lot of people will go their full lifetimes without taking radical responsibility, and you are, which is huge. Please celebrate yourself for that today. Please, please, please celebrate yourself for that accomplishment. And it was 4444 on the recording of this when I said that. So even more confirmation for you to go celebrate yourself. Great fucking job. I will see you in the next episode.